Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's so nice to be with all of you tonight. There's so many things to congratulate you on. Of course, the launch of Zamzam USA is an incredible accomplishment. 10 years of operation for Zamzam, doing such great work around the country, as we saw in the beautiful, moving video. 75 years of partnership between Sri Lanka and the United States, and also the special consultative status, which was just awarded to Zamzam Foundation. So there's so much to celebrate tonight, and we're so honored to be here with all of you. So congratulations to Hisham and the entire staff at the Zamzam Foundation. We look forward to working with you. I also want to acknowledge the foreign minister. We had an excellent conversation just before the event tonight, discussing our shared commitment to democratic principles and human rights between our countries. And we look forward to deepening and expanding our partnership. When I was watching this video, it's an incredible video, it occurred to me, as human beings, one of the things we don't decide is, among many things we don't decide on our own, is we don't decide where we're born. We don't decide when we're born. We could have been on this earth 1,000 years ago. We would have been living very different lives. I could have been born overseas. I could have been born in China, could have been born in India, could have been born in Russia, could have been born in Sri Lanka. We don't choose which families we come into. But one thing that we all know for sure, as people in this room, is that no matter where we're born, we have an obligation, we have a commitment to those around us. We have a commitment and a desire to make the world a better place and to improve the lives of the people that we're living with. And I'm so proud to stand here with you today, because when we see the video and we see all the tremendous work that's being done by the Zamzam Foundation, we see a true, sincere commitment to that principle. And for all of you who are here in Chicago as part of the diaspora community, proud people, many of you from Sri Lanka, it's a reminder to me that as somebody that's working in government, we cannot do the work that we're trying to do and accomplish what we must accomplish without your leadership. The sincerity that you bring to your work, the passion that you bring to your work is incredible. And so I'm very grateful. Chicago is a special place for me. My father, who came to the United States in 1969 from India, he first came to Chicago. And he was in the mining industry. He first stopped in Chicago, then he was living in the western part of the United States, and then moved to Texas, where I was born. And I can tell you, I remember when I was young, my father would tell me that where we were growing up in the Dallas area, there was at that time a small Muslim community. And so he told us that they would literally open up the phone book to try to find enough Muslim names to have the Friday prayer, Jumu'ah prayer. And they would call people, sometimes people are not interested, but they got enough people together, and they got enough money together to build the first masjid in that area. And then eventually, alhamdulillah, you've seen the community grow. You've seen what the Dallas community has begun and it has become. And the same is true for Chicago. It's such a magnificent city and such an incredible community here. My wife's family is actually from Chicago too, and I've seen from visiting here and spending time here the depth of the community, the commitment of the community, all the educational initiatives that are benefiting people all around the country, including Muslim communities around the country. So the story that we've seen in Chicago, the story that I've seen in Dallas, my mother was a practicing physician, an OBGYN, delivering babies as her profession, taking care of their mothers, taking care of the children. She was a physician. She also came to the United States after she married my father in 1975. the commitment that we have to religious freedom in this country, the services that we have, the opportunity that we provide for people of all faiths has been incredible. My mother, she also would tell me stories about people who would drive for hours, literally, because they found an opportunity to have a Muslim woman as their physician, which is so important for so many of those women. And so we grew up, and I grew up in that environment, benefiting from the tremendous freedom that we have here in the United States. Not without some challenges, of course. And as we make progress over time, we always say progress isn't something that happens just in a straight line. There's ups and downs, there's bumps along the road. We see that in the United States, we see that around the world. And that's an important part of the conversation that I was having with the foreign minister earlier today and what he spoke about. But it's really important for the people of Sri Lanka that they have you. People ask me this question all the time. Our job in the position that I'm in right now is to advocate for human rights, to advocate for religious freedom, specifically for people around the world. And sometimes people ask, who is the United States to get involved? Why is the United States going around the world or issuing these reports that talk about the conditions with regard to religious freedom around the world? And I think we have some very powerful answers to that question. First of all, we are a country that itself was founded by many people who themselves were fleeing religious persecution. And this freedom meant so much to them that they enshrined it in the First Amendment, the freedom of religion in the United States Constitution, the First Amendment in the Bill of Rights. But we're also a country that's made up of people that come here from literally every corner of the planet. And when they come here, they don't forget, you don't forget, those of you who are from Sri Lanka, those of you who have come to the United States from other places around the world, we don't forget where we came from. And you do the work of trying to improve the situation in those countries, whether it's through economic means or whether it's through advocacy. You certainly work with us very closely, those of us who are in government, to push us to make sure that we as a government in the United States are doing everything that we can to promote this principle all around the world, including in Sri Lanka. And you wouldn't have it any other way. So when people ask me, who are you as the United States to advocate for these rights around the world? Part of my answer is that we are representatives from all around the world gathered here in the United States. And we see it as our obligation to make sure that we are spreading these important principles and these important values. I'm so proud. I talked a little bit about the work that Zamzam is doing in Sri Lanka, and some of you have seen this firsthand on the ground there. Others of us saw it in the video. And from the educational work that's being done to the development work, the healthcare work, the interfaith work, it's been incredible to see, for example, interfaith visits with religious leaders from so many different religious communities, Hindu community, Buddhist community, Muslim community, Christian community, visit different parts of the country, including the north and east parts of the country, to help advance relations between people and to help improve stability all around the country. We saw in the video the initiative School with a Smile, which has given to over 70,000 students basic supplies. As the minister talked about, that opportunity of education you give one person, you don't know how far that goes. You plant that seed. It impacts their family. It impacts their community. President Kennedy, his brother, Robert F. Kennedy, the Attorney General, used to talk about a wave that is created. When you throw a pebble in the water, it's a wave. It starts off small, but the ripple effect that it can have can literally change the world. And to educate, to give the opportunity of education to 70,000 people is absolutely incredible. We saw video footage of the plans for the Anaya Garden Complex, which is a skills development center, which also promises to give so much opportunity to so many people. So we are very much grateful for the work that Hisham, you're doing and the foundation is doing. I know that last year was a difficult year, given the economic situation, and we're working together. It's not about one country, giving financial assistance to another country. It's all about partnership because we're all connected. And what's happening in one part of the world directly impacts us. So we very much see it as a partnership, as an opportunity to continue working together. So in that spirit, I'm very, very honored and proud to stand with you today as we advance the partnership through the work of the Zamzam Foundation. And you have my commitment that we will continue to do everything that we can to support this initiative. And I'm very, very encouraged to see so many people from the community here that I know will be excellent partners in education and in development. And perhaps most importantly, so proud to see so many young people here today because the work that's being done to develop the talent, the incredible talent. I mean, Sri Lanka, as you all know better than I do, per capita is some of the highest education levels in the world. So in addition to being a very kind and sincere people, you're a brilliant people and highly educated people as well. And there's no limits on what can be achieved by the young people that are here in terms of getting involved in public service in the United States and in terms of building partnerships that have significant impacts in Sri Lanka. So we are very excited about the future, inshallah, and I'm just very humbled to be able to come and witness and to learn from you from the presentation that was made and to continue this partnership going forward. So thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.